Let us take advantage of the good things they did for us and leave the bad things behind. Because if we keep on thinking about what happened in the past, it's going to affect the future of our continent, Africa. Thank you, the chairperson, the secretary, timekeeper, our beloved chief judge, proposers, opposers, and the House at large. I stand before you to oppose the motion that is stated on the board. The coming of Europeans did more harm than good. On my side, I'm saying they did more good than harm. First and foremost, before saying out my points, I would like to clarify or explain the key words. What do they mean by the coming of Europeans? What they mean is the period of colonialism. And what is colonialism? Colonialism means the policy or practice of acquiring full political control over another country, occupying it with settlers and explaining it economically. I would like to make the topic clearer. So, proposers are going to talk about the negative effects of that period, while we opposers are going to talk about the positive effects of that period. I would like to begin with the truth that colonial rule did not just have a negative impact. There are areas where it really contributed positively, and Africa is still enjoying some of those positive areas till today. So what are some of the positive effects they did for us? First point, they introduction of the modern idea of government. One of the major impacts of colonialism was the introduction of new government ideas, and this contributed positively in many African countries. The influence of colonialism made Africans exhibit that structured kind of government which colonial masters practiced during the time of colonialism. Take for instance the idea of separation of powers, which helps to avoid conflict between the arm of government was learned from the colonial masters. Also, the idea of a written, can you give me 2 more minutes please? Thanks a lot. Also, the idea of a written constitution was brought as a result of colonialism. Most African countries had unwritten constitution, and this posed a lot of problems. The concept of a written constitution therefore helps to reduce in the interpretation of the law. Second point, another positive effect of colonialism was the creation of large political units. This was advantageous because it helped most African countries like Nigeria to grow faster. Before the coming of colonial masters to Africa, most African countries had divided systems of government. Take for example, Nigeria. There was Hausa or Fulani system of administration. There was the Yoruba system and even the Igbo political system. You see, all these political systems were greatly different from each other, even though the regions were not too far from themselves. On arrival, the colonial master merged all the political systems to enable faster development in the region land to make governance. Thirdly, and last point, introduction of money currency. Trade by barter was the only way of transacting in Africa until the introduction of colonialism. The colonial masters introduced money and educated Africans on how the money currency could solve the trade by barter. In 1912, the first silver coin was introduced by the British and West African Currency Board was set up. Colonial masters also introduced the banking system of Africa. Banks were created to keep money, and we Africans really enjoyed this development because it solved a lot of problems with the trade by barter system. I would like to conclude by saying, let us take advantage of the good things they did for us and leave the bad things behind. Because if we keep on thinking about what happened in the past, it's going to affect the future of our continent, Africa. Thanks a lot for listening.